Hello everybody, my name is Yasates here. Today we will be taking a look at FizzBuzz and the true lesson behind why it is used in interviews and in test interviews, mock interviews, and in competitive programming. FizzBuzz is a very simple problem, yet however, only 1 out of 15 people can solve it. First, the problem. The problem is pretty straightforward. Write a short program that prints numbers from 1 to 100 on a line. For each multiple of 3, print fizz, and for every multiple of 5, print buzz. And for every multiple of 3 and 5, print FizzBuzz. So as you can see, and if it's none of that, just print the number itself. So 1 is a multiple of 3 or 5, so just print 1. The number 3 is a multiple of 3, so we write fizz. 15 is a multiple of 3 and 5, so we write FizzBuzz. The criteria when writing your code. Your code must be simple, yet efficient. It must be easy to make changes, it must be scalable, and should be easy to read. Now you might be wondering, what does this have to do with FizzBuzz? FizzBuzz is a very good test to see how easily you can write code that follows through this criteria. The beginner solution. The beginner solution, as you can see, has a while loop and has one big Boolean logic. And the issue with this is that you're constantly printing out lines for every single if statement. That's very repetitive and that's not good practice. Second of all, it's very hard to make changes. Let's suppose if I'm working at a company and this is the sort of code I write. Now let's suppose if my boss tells me that I need to remove 3 and 5 and replace it with 7 and 8. Right now I have to replace it in 3 or 4 different areas. This is a lot more complicated. If this was a real project, I would have hundreds or thousands of lines of code. So as you can see, this is a very big problem that's already starting from here. It's also not very efficient, as I explained earlier, because of the Boolean logic, and it's hard to read. Now, let me show you my version of the problem. My version is a lot more easy and creative. I have a simple while loop running, but instead of printing out after every if statement, I have a string that holds the answer and it's printed out at the end. Then I check, is it divisible by 3? If so, add fizz to the answer. Then, is it divisible by 5? I'll add buzz to the answer. And if it's neither, if the length of the answers is 0, then we will just add the number as a string and we'll just print it out. This is a lot easier to make changes to because I only need to replace the 3 and 5 in 2 areas. After that, there is very little Boolean logic because if statements, they don't have any other else if or else statements. It's just if statements. After that, it's also a lot more easier to look at because it has less lines of code. So hopefully you've gotten a thorough understanding as to how to write the proper FizzBuzz solution. Of course, FizzBuzz isn't a full representation of how well you can write code, but if you can't write something as simple as this, you likely will not be able to write very high complex code in the future. Thank you for watching, and hope you learned something from this video. Have a nice day.